Hey there students, I put together a quick video on how you can get your works cited pages looking right and looking perfect. Follow along to check it out. Okay, so putting together the works cited page, we're going to put together a simple one very quickly, hopefully quickly. And we're going to start here with this blank Google Docs page, which you can see here. What I've done is I've opened up a few of the articles we're working with, which you can see here. We're working with one of the Milgram articles that comes from an anthology or a textbook. I've got a YouTube video that you might use as a source. And then lastly, I've got this article, another Stanley Milgram article that is taken from a database. So basically what we want to do is build a proper works cited page using these sources. And the way we do this is we use a guide. So in this case, I have Purdue OWL, and we're working with certain kinds of text. And you can see here on the left, different kinds of text, and this works as a guide to tell us sort of how to put together the works cited entry properly, depending on the kind of source you have. So for example, we're working with the Stanley Milgram article that's taken from a textbook or an anthology. So we want to make sure and scroll down. We've got a work in an anthology, so we build it just like this. And so what I've done is, in this page here, I've pulled together all this information so we can go through this very quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here and go from left to right to get my formatting correct. I'm going to start here with the font. We're going to use Times New Roman font. We'll use 12 point, and then we'll make this double spaced. We'll stick with that for the formatting for now, and we'll make other modest adjustments a bit later on. I'm going to go here to the top of the page and center this. We're going to call this page the Works Cited, just like that. Double check the font here. Times New Roman, 12-point font, double spaced. There we go. And so from here, we'll left justify and we'll build from there. So let's start with this Milgram article. There are certain elements we want to make sure and see in the works cited, and we want them in proper order and formatted correctly. And so using Purdue OWL, I copied and pasted how that should look, and it should look something like this, or almost exactly like this. So I'm going to take this and move it up here so we can use this as a guide. And then I've also got down here the information we need to build this works cited entry. So I'm going to take this as well, paste it up here, just so we use this as a guide. We'll go ahead and delete this a bit later, but for now, we're going to try to get this works cited entry to look exactly like this. Notice the order of things: last name, first name, title of the essay, title of the collection, who are the editors, the publisher, the year, and the page range of entry. All this information you can find here. Notice you've got the publisher's names here, the title of the anthology or textbook in this case. The author of the article is here, Stanley Milgram. The title of the essay, The Perils of Obedience, is here. And then there's the page range of entry, which you can see on the pages here. So that we can work through this quickly, I went ahead and put all that here. And so we simply enter the information and make it look exactly like this. So we'll go Milgram, comma, Stanley, period. The title of the essay, in this case, it's The Perils of Obedience. And then we've got a period and close quotation marks. From there, the title or collection. In this case, it's Research and Composition in the Disciplines. Pay close attention to punctuation, and then we put a comma after that, and then the editor's names. In this case, we're using these names here: Lawrence Behrens and Leonard J. Rosen. I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste that here. After the editor's names goes comma and the publisher. In this case, we're using Pearson. After the publisher's name goes the year. In this case, it is 2011. And then after the year goes the page range of entry, and it goes exactly like this. In this case, it's 668 to 679, and then a period at the end of the entry. So just like that, the only thing beyond this is the titles of long works. In this case, the title of the anthology, we're going to want to italicize. So it looks about like that. We'll do some last minute formatting at the end. So that's for this kind of source right here, an item in a larger work, a short work within a larger work, like an essay within an anthology or a chapter within a book, something like that. Let's move on. So I also have this source here. This is from an activist by the name of Jamila Rakib, who did a TED Talk, and it's been posted as a YouTube video. So we don't need this stuff anymore. But again, I went to Purdue OWL. I looked in electronic sources here, and it shows you exactly how to put together an entry for a YouTube video. To save some time, I went ahead and posted that here. And so it should look something like this. Here's an example we can use. So we'll make our entry look like this, but with our source. And to save time, again, I went ahead and put together this information here from the TED Talk so that we can put this together quickly. So we're going to start here. The name of this this creator is Jamila Rakib, and again we go last name, first name, Rakib, comma Jamila, period. The title of the work, in this case it's The Secret to Effective Nonviolent Resistance. Period, and then close quotation marks. After the title of the work goes the source, in this case it's YouTube, and then comma, who is it uploaded by. In this case we know it's uploaded by TED. We can see that here. It says TED right here, so we put exactly that. If you're uncertain about the punctuation, capitalization, do what they did. And then a comma and the date of the upload. In this case, it's a little tricky on YouTube to find it. But if I scroll over this, it says July 7, 2016. We make sure and format that correctly. In that case, we do 7 July 2016, no punctuation. And then after that date goes the link. In this particular case, we can use this link here. And I'm going to just take that and copy and paste it here. What I usually recommend to students is you can hyperlink it if you want, or you can not hyperlink it. Whatever you do is throughout your works cited page, be consistent. Usually for me as a course of habit, I unlink it, but you do you. Okay, so that's a YouTube video. The last one we can do is an article from a database, from an academic database. And so I've got another one here from Stanley Milgram that we're going to use here. And again, on this cover page here, this article obviously is titled The Dilemma of Obedience. It appeared in a magazine called Phi Data Kappan, and it is from a database called JSTOR. So you can see the data publication, the volume and issue number, the link, all these things are available to us on the screen so we can see what we need. Again, to identify the formatting for this particular works cited entry, I looked here and looked in electronic sources and scrolled down to database, an item in a database, and I copied and pasted the example down here just for simplicity's sake so we can work quickly through this. And you'll see here, we've done these two here. So we've got this right here. This is the example we can use. We want our entry to look like this. And then here's the information that we have. These are just notes. We'll delete this before we finish up our works cited page. But so we have the information we need here. So the name of this particular writer again is Milgram Stanley. So we start there. Then we do the title of the work. In this case, it's The Dilemma of Obedience. And this appeared, according to our notes down here, in a publication called Phi Delta Kappan. So we put that here. And then what goes next after the name of the publication goes volume and issue number. So in this case, it's volume 55, number 9. Again, if you're uncertain about the punctuation, just do it exactly like the way you see it done. So there's volume and issue number. Then the date of publication. In this case, we've got May 1974. After that, we've got the page range. In this case, it is 603 to 606. After the page range of entry, we do the database. In this case, the name of the database we're using is JSTOR. And then after the database goes the link to the article itself. In this case, we can see it right here. We can copy it right here. I'm going to take this over here and paste. There we go. After the link goes period and then access date. Access date, we use this on items that are changeable. If they're published online, they can change. So you want to indicate on what date you looked up this article or this item. So in this case, it is August 20th, so we'll do 20 August 2023, and then a period at the end. We get rid of all this stuff. We don't need any of this because that's not going to be a part of our works cited page. We don't need this either. And then we can clean this up with some last minute formatting. Again, I'm going to get rid of these links just because I like it better that way. And I'm going to take this and make sure and italicize what needs to be italicized. In this case, YouTube gets italicized. We italicize the name of publications, magazines, or book length works. So I'm going to italicize Phi Delta Kappan since that's the name of a magazine. We also italicize databases. So there we go. From here, I'm going to highlight all these entries, everything except for the title, and we're going to do something called hanging indent. This is something to indicate, this is something we do with works cited pages. I'm going to go to Format, Align and Indent, Indentation Options, Special Indent Hanging, and then Apply. Bingo, there you go. Last thing to do, we want to alphabetize by author's last name. So I'm going to take this Stanley Milgram one here and put it at the top since dilemma comes before perils. And then anytime you have you have two or more works from the same author, you don't repeat the work, you just put these 3 dashes just like that. And so this is how your works cited page should look. It should be clean, it should be neat, it should be tidy, your margin should be correct, it should be double spaced throughout. Neatness counts on these works cited pages, you guys, so pay attention to that. Look at the examples online if you need more guidance, and of course, always ask and I'm happy to help. See you guys next time.